Hey, it's Monday. I have a story. I have a craft. And now that I have you, we can make this Monday a fun day. Our story today is called The Pout Pout Fish in the Big, Big Dark. It's written by Deborah Diesen with pictures by Dan Hanna, and it's published by Farrar Straus Giroux. Do you know what that is? That's a clam, and that's her pearl. A doozy of a drowsy made Ms. Clam yawn. Then a big current whooshed and uh-oh, her pearl was gone. Mr. Fish swam forth. Ms. Clam, don't weep. I will find your pearl. That's a promise I'll keep. So he swooped through the water, swishing close to the sand, and he eyed every inch of the busy bottom land. And it was busy. Look at all the things down there. Do you see any pearls? No, I don't either. He found a mucky marble where he thought the pearl might be. Then a hidden voice whispered, "It's further out to sea." So he swam a little deeper, where the light grew dimmer. As his heart fluttered, Mr. Fish grew grimmer. That means he was being very serious. I'm fast as a sailfish. I'm strong as a shark. I'm smart as a dolphin, but I'm scared of the dark. But he kept on searching all along the ocean floor, through a reef, through a wreck, swimming far from the shore. Mr. Fish felt a pout-pout poach on his hope. Then the whisper from before said, "It's down beyond the slope." So he swam a little deeper, where the light grew dimmer. As his heart fluttered, Mr. Fish grew grimmer. I'm fast as a sailfish. I'm strong as a shark. I'm smart as a dolphin, but I'm scared of the dark. Well, a whirl of wriggly worms made a search team swirl, and they helped with the hunt for the gone pearl. But nothing was discovered. Mr. Fish felt despair. Then that soft voice whispered, "In the trench, check there." Down here. So he swam a little deeper, where the light grew dimmer. As his heart fluttered, Mr. Fish grew grimmer. I'm fast as a sailfish. I'm strong as a shark. I'm smart as a dolphin, but I'm scared of the dark. I won't keep swimming in this heap deep black. I know I made a promise, but this fish is heading back. Then a whisper, now familiar, whisked away his dread. You can do it, Mr. Fish, her sweet voice said. Though there wasn't any light, not the smallest slim glimmer, Mr. Fish felt braver. Cheered on by Miss Shimmer. Two are faster than a sailfish. Two are stronger than a shark. Two are smarter than a dolphin. Two are bigger than the dark. So they swam down together, holding fin to fin, when suddenly, amazingly, light shone in. Mr. Fish said, "Yes." Miss Shimmer shouted, "Yay! There's Miss Clam's pearl. Hooray! Hooray!" I think that's called a lanternfish. And it was. And you know what they did? Well, I'm going to tell you. They smooched Mr. Lantern. Then they smiled as they swam, waving back through the water to a happy Miss Clam. The whole gang gathered, feeling glorious and proud, and they swam in a circle, and they sang out loud. The ocean is wide, and the ocean is deep, but friends help friends. That's a promise we keep. We are bigger, yes, bigger, always big, big, bigger than the dark. So I guess with the help of some friends, the Pout Pout Fish isn't so afraid of the dark anymore. Our craft today is a flashlight craft, just a pretend flashlight. But if you look down below the video, you can see the materials you'll need, and I'll get set up here and we'll get started with our craft for today. So let's get started. Just to go over what we need, you're going to need a gallon-size Ziploc bag. You're going to need some black paper, construction paper or cardstock works best. You're also going to need some white paper. And again, heavier paper is better, so you can use construction paper or cardstock, but if you just have regular paper, that's fine too. You're going to need a pencil, some markers, and some scissors. Now the markers you're going to need for today are going to be permanent markers, so things like Sharpies. The reason for that is we're going to be coloring on the plastic, and these will dry, whereas if you use washable markers, they will not dry so well and they will run on your hands. So that's what we're going to use. So the first thing we're going to want to do is draw our picture. And we're going to draw a picture. You can do one of under the water, which is what I was thinking we would do, but you can also draw any kind of an outdoor scene. So you might draw a forest scene or maybe something in your backyard, anything you want. This is your paper that you're going to use. If there's writing on your bag, make sure that writing is away from you so that you've got just the clear, and this is going to go pop, pop, pop. You want to make sure that the side that's up has no writing on it at all. And you're going to want to make sure that the Ziploc part of this is facing closest to you. So then you're going to get your markers and think about what you're going to draw. Now I actually went and got some books from the library, of course, to see some underwater scenes so I could decide what I wanted to have in there. And I saw that I could add some grasses and some fish. Maybe I'd want to have crabs or shells, some starfish, some ferns. Think about the things you might see underwater. Different kinds of fish. There's a Nemo fish, a clownfish. There might be some seaweed with flowers on it. You might want to have an octopus in your picture, or a lobster, or a swordfish. All kinds of things. So think about what you might want to have in your picture. And if you can't think of anything, well, maybe you even have a book that has some pictures in it and you could use that as a model. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to draw some, some ferns. So I'm going to take my green marker and I'm just going to draw some squiggles of different sizes, maybe going in different directions, even overlapping. And you could draw anything you want. So there are mine. I guess you could see them pretty well. Probably can see them better down like that. So I'm going to leave that. And I think I want to have some stems on them. So I'm just going to draw a straight line through. let's see what other colors I have. I have some blue, so I think I'm going to make some fish. Now I need a tail on my fish, which is kind of like a triangle. And then I need an oval body. And I might want a little fin up on top and a fin down below. And then of course he's going to need an eye. And maybe a smile. Okay, maybe I want to have a red fish. Kind of like Dr. Seuss. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. So I'm going to do this fish up here as well. Now your markers will make your bag a little bit tacky, so if you can keep your hand off of leaning on it, that's good. Otherwise you'll wind up with marker on here, but it washes off eventually. So let's see, I want to have an eye on this one. And I think I'll do a gill and some scales. And I think I will put some white paper underneath it so you can see what I'm doing. Does that make it show up a little bit better? All right, so I'm going to have a starfish in my scene. And I'm just going to draw a star. And I might do one over here too. What else could I have? I could have a big fish. So I'm going to make a he's going to be swimming behind them, and he's actually going to go right off of the page. He needs a fin. And of course, he needs an eye. And I think I may give him some teeth too. I think he probably needs a fin down here too. So what else could I put in there? I could maybe put a jellyfish. What color shall I make my jellyfish? Maybe an orange. And jellyfish is kind of a circle. And some tendrils that are coming down. I like all of my fish to have eyes, so I'm going to have the jellyfish have eyes too. And I might have some bubbles going up. And maybe I could have somebody doing some fishing. So I could have a line coming down with a hook on it. And I guess I'd need a red worm to be on it. Anything else? That gives you the idea of what it is. So then what you're going to want to do when you've got your picture drawn the way you would like it, and remember one thing I didn't do, make sure it goes all the way down. So I'm going to make my seagrasses go a little bit further down. And then maybe I'll add a shell in there too. Maybe one more shell too over here. We could have one that's so I think my picture is done now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of black paper, and I had to trim mine a little bit because my paper was longer than my bag. So I measured it up and I cut it a little bit smaller than the width of the bag. And then I'm going to slide my paper in. So that the sea looks very dark. You may even want to use 2 pieces of paper because your bag is longer than your paper is wide. But I'm going to let that just dry off a little bit. And what we're going to need now is a flashlight, just a paper flashlight. So what I did was I looked online and I found some pictures of flashlights, some images. So there's one like that, one like that, and one like that. And what you're going to want to do is either print off a picture on some paper or some cardstock, or you can hand draw one. And when you do, you want to have it, let's get back to the first one. Have your flashlight take up about half of the piece of paper lengthwise, and then the beam from the flashlight will be filling the rest of the paper. And then cut it out. So now that you have your flashlight and your deep, dark picture, what you can do to have a little fun is to shine your flashlight inside. I'll turn this around so you can see. So you can see how things look down deep in the ocean. Oh, there's that big fish. And I also did one just to show you what it would look like if you did a forest scene and you wanted to be shining your light around. You know who's in that cave? A bear, that's right. So have a little flashlight fun with just a pretend flashlight. But you might also want to go outside and just kind of explore your own backyard with a flashlight. You never know what you might find. Thanks for tuning in. This is the last of our Monday's Fun Day programs for 2021. We hope you've enjoyed them. If you missed any, you can always check in our playlists on YouTube and catch up with some of the other crafts. But thanks for joining me, and well, we'll see you next time, sometime. Bye-bye.